Hello there, everyone. How you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into r/entitled people, where a Karen attacks a perfectly innocent doggo. How could she? Why? Well, if you want to see what that story and how it ends, stick around. Now remember to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Now, without further ado, let's get started. For our first story, we've got Give me a free piercing! No! So, afternoon, I swung by a local piercing studio to pick out a new nose stud. It's a relatively small building with a large open lobby. There was a mother and a daughter waiting, and I was perusing the jewelry in the cases. The staff is super friendly there, and one of the girls was showing me different types of jewelry, prices, etc. Just then, two women with a young child came into the building. They asked where the bathroom was, and one of the women took the child in. The other woman started asking the mother and daughter what piercings they were getting for, prices, etc., and then interrupted the girl helping me. I didn't really mind as I was still browsing. The woman started asking how much it would cost to get her butt pierced. The staff member looked confused and asked her to clarify. The girl said she wanted to either the top of her butt, her rectum, her crack, or one of her butt cheeks pierced. The girl says she doesn't believe they offer piercings in that area, but can ask their manager. She poked her head in one of the closed rooms where the manager was, and then came back and told the woman she was sorry, but we don't offer those. The woman rudely asked her what her qualification and credentials were, why she was working there if she isn't trained, and so on. She then started asking how much it would cost for a septum, a lip piercing, a tongue piercing, and so on. The staff member tried to explain that the prices varied on the type of jewelry she picked, and tried to show her some of the options in the display case. The girl continued to ask how much it would cost. The staff member finally got her a catalog of jewelry and asked her to sit while she continued to help me. The other woman and her young son finally came out of the bathroom and told the woman they would wait in the car, and they left. The woman is loudly complaining to the mother and the young child about how she can't believe they don't do butt piercings, while the kid sits there looking absolutely horrified. I should note, the woman was acting somewhat erratic throughout the story, either loudly complaining, pacing, or looking agitated and kicking at the chairs. The manager came out of the room and asked what he could help her with. The girl said she was ready to get a septum piercing now. He tried to explain that there was a waiting list and she had to sign in, but she got angry and said she needed to get it in the next 15 minutes. He told her if she registered right now, he could probably get her done in 15 to 20 minutes. She pointed out that the earring she wanted, and he told her it would be $120. The woman looks at him blankly and says, "I have $40. The manager looks confused and again says, "It's $120. The woman looks at him blankly and says, "I have $40 again." Rinse and repeat. She doesn't understand why the frick it's so expensive. She only has $40 and will not be paying more. The manager points to cheaper earrings and says that a couple of them were only $30. She starts to look somewhat calmer until he says the total would be $50. She blows up again, and he explains that the piercing itself has a $20 service fee. She says nothing, but calmly turns and opens one of the closed doors where another staff member is doing a piercing. He starts to ask what she's doing, and she says she needs him to pierce her right now, right away, as the manager was trying to rip her off. At this point, he simply closes and locks the door, and she loses it. She is yelling, crying, waving her two $20 bills around in the air as me, the staff, the mom and daughter waiting are just staring in shock, watching as this grown-ass woman throws a fit. She then stops, turns, and walks out the door as if nothing happened. We all kind of laugh nervously and start talking about how weird that was, when the door opens again. And guess who? It's this lady. The chick stands there as calm as anything and says, "Hello, I'm here to get a tattoo." The manager looks at her, shocked, and says, "We don't offer tattoos. And at this point, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, as you are disturbing our customers." She starts screaming that she knows they offer tattoos, and they're hiding it from her just because she only has $40. They discriminate against poor people, and so on. She says she needs a tat or a piercing today, and they shouldn't refuse service just because someone can't pay. She then throws a stack of magazines off the table and leaves. Again, we all look at each other in shock. I eventually bought a couple of earrings and left a nice big tip for the poor staff, and continued to look utterly bewildered. I leave, and I'm opening the door to my car when someone calls out, and I see this lady walking towards me. She asks if I have $100. I do not engage. I just shake my head and try to get in my car. She grabs my arm and says if I'm shopping there, I must be rich, and I'm greedy not to help a woman out in need. I tell her I'm not rich, and indicated to my duct-taped windows on my car. I hold up my pepper spray and say, "Touch me again, and I'll spray. And if you don't leave in the next 10 seconds, I am calling the cops." She freaking shrieks and runs back to her car fuming. So, that's that. Not as crazy as some of the stories out there, but I've actually never had a Karen experience before, and after years of reading this subreddit, I was pretty excited to contribute for an anonymous account, in case this crazy lady reads it. Enjoy your evenings and keep an eye out for Karens, y'all. Neighbor pointed a gun at my golden retriever Sam. I had to step in. I have this daily routine of walking my golden retriever Sam around the block every morning. Sam is the sweetest boy, full of love and always ready to play. His idea of a threat is the vacuum cleaner, not a living creature. Sam is the most gentle soul you'll ever meet. The kind of dog who loves belly rubs and fetch more than anything else in the world. He's also never hurt a fly, let alone hurt another human being. This morning, our peaceful routine turned into a nightmare. As we were doing our usual round, we encountered our usually reclusive neighbor, Mr. X. Now, Mr. X has always been a little off-putting, but what he did today was beyond my wildest imagination. As we passed by, Sam wagged his tail, trotting slightly towards Mr. X in his usual friendly way. Out of nowhere, Mr. X kicked Sam violently, causing Sam to cry out. I was shocked, to say the least. I yelled at Mr. X, warning him to stay away from Sam. In response, he started ranting about filthy animals. But then it got worse. He pulled out a handgun and pointed it at Sam. I was terrified, but there was no way I was letting that happen to my boy. Without thinking twice, I put myself between Sam and the gun, shielding him. I shouted at Mr. X, trying to de-escalate the situation and attract attention. Thankfully, the commotion had drawn a crowd of other neighbors, who immediately called police. The police arrived swiftly and managed to disarm Mr. X without anyone getting hurt. I am totally pressing charges for animal cruelty and assault, and Sam's at the vet right now getting checked over. He's a little shaken, but seems okay. I still can't believe I had to step in to protect Sam from a gun-wielding neighbor. The level of entitlement some people exhibit is simply horrifying. Anyway, just needed to share this. Please, always keep an eye out for your pets. They depend on us to keep them safe. And for our last story today, we've got maybe try practicing what you preach? Hi, gang. It's a fine day, and GF and me are doing some shopping together. All goes well until we reach the tills. We're both behind our car, unload our stuff, and eventually my GF reaches over to grab a divider to place this behind our stuff. Easy, right? If only. The next moment, we feel a cart shoved into our behinds, and while I grab my GF's wrist to let her know I got this, I put my foot down and give the cart a small shove, not too excessive. When I noticed it hit something, I press for a bit, then I let go. We briefly look at each other with a duh look on our faces. The next moment, some bald dude tries to shove my girlfriend away. Yeah, bad move. She more or less shoves him back with her shoulder, using the till for more leverage. This sort of set him off. Sorry for wanting to go in front of you. I need that divider. And he once again makes a move. But this time my GF figures whatever, and she makes some room, which meant she's now also snuggling more up to me. Heh, no complaints here. The couple before us all put their stuff back in the cart. In the Netherlands, we don't usually bag stuff at the tills themselves, and get ready to pay when this happens. Bald guy's like, excuse me, but if you two would move somewhat forward, other people would have room to put their stuff on the band. What the frick? Excuse me, but I respect people's privacy. Those two people, gesturing forward, don't need prying eyes while they're paying. The bald guy now starts to iterate my comments, probably to some other people. I didn't look back while I said this, which is when my girlfriend now suddenly grabbed my wrist for a moment to let me know, I got this. She turns around. Maybe try practicing what you preach. It doesn't help your credibility if you shove your cart into people's behinds and then try to act as if you have better manners than them. Oh dear. What did you say, girlie? It's here when I notice several tattoos on the guy, and now I'm a little worried. Not so much for my GF, but that this may get out of hand. The girlfriend now grabs her phone. Doesn't do anything with it, but I can see that because I'm behind her. She pushes herself a little more against Baldy's cart behind us and acts as if she's filming. This, she points to the cart now pushing against her waist, can be explained as sexual harassment. You got 10 seconds, and I'm going to cry sexual assault on you. Thing about the Netherlands, and I'm not making this up, the sentencing here is poor. Unless, of course, you commit the wrong kind of crimes. The one that can make the country look bad, with enough attention. And this is just my own personal bias, but I mean, murder happens everywhere, right? It's not our government's fault that murderers sometimes walk out between 6 or 12 years. And it's not the judge's fault, who can't be elected over here, that the government makes up such weird laws, right? Alas, back to our story. Guess what kind of crime does fit the narrative? Ha ha. As for why the Baldies seem to know, your guess is as good as ours. As why my girlfriend seemed to know, now your guess is as good as mine. But he and several people behind him suddenly bolted out of there, while leaving their stuff on the band. First, the group made their way towards the back of the store. The next moment, my girlfriend saw them exiting the store using another aisle while we were paying for our goods. We paid for our stuff, the cashier sighed because she now had quite a lot of crud to deal with. But when our girlfriend saw a 6-pack of orange juice, she told the cashier she wouldn't mind buying that. She even got 50 cents off because she was now considered second-hand. Sweet. Some people, of course, It's also possible that they did not like the idea of getting caught on camera, I suppose. But still, some people maybe try to display some valor before preaching it. Dumbass. Edit/updates. Some people rightfully mention that this seems a bit extreme, and normally I'd agree. Thing is, we're talking about a country where the police hardly show up anymore, and when they do, you shouldn't expect many results. For example, when a vlogger and his cronies harass a whole neighborhood and the police are eventually called, said vlogger walks over to a police car, gets taped and streamed. All while the police do is ask him to please get off the car. Don't take my word on that. Use YouTube, trade in vlogger Zandam Politile audio. So when you can get out of a hostile situation, you take it, period. Different countries, different police, different ways of survival. Yeah, some modern countries can be this bad. That's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment or a story in the comments below. Maybe even check out the Reddit playlist in the description. Do what you wanna. I ain't your dad. Anyway, I will see you all next time. Hasta la pasta.